Hello everyone, I'm just doing this impromptu live video because I have something in my heart that I want to share with you guys and I'm very passionate about it. So I'm doing a live video because that way I won't get conscious and I won't redo it and take a lot of time. I'll just be able to tell you what's on my mind. I'm going to rant, I'm going to talk about it. I don't know how long it will take, but this video would basically render quickly and go up on the channel as quickly as possible. And so I'm just going to talk to you about what is love, what is a conscious relationship, what is an unconscious relationship. I'm going to talk about stuff that will most likely get me all the dislikes. I know that this video will attract a lot of hate. I know I'm gonna say stuff that people will not like, but I have to say it because every day I get thousands and thousands and thousands. I mean, over this whole Synchro Shakti journey that started in 2011 and now we are in 2019, I've had this one theme constantly coming to me, and this is something I resist a lot, and that's why what you resist persists. So I attract a lot of this particular question, and I decided today was a tipping point for me where I get so many of this particular question every day, and I don't answer it because it's not in my field, it's not in my place to talk about it. But now I think it's time that I will talk about it, and I'm going to say stuff that you guys may or may not like. You guys may end up unfollowing me, but for me, my intention is pure that if even one person is impacted by what I'm about to tell you today about what love is, what conscious relationships are like, why I am so resistant towards people begging others to love them, trying to attract your ex back, trying to force someone to love you, to pay attention to you, why I have such a strong resistance towards that. I'm going to talk my heart, I'm going to tell you everything, and I apologize in advance if this is going to hurt a lot of people's ego, a lot of people's feelings will get hurt by what I'm about to say. I have oiled my hair, but I have not washed it because I couldn't wait. I have to talk to you guys about this. Okay, I see a lot of you guys are here. Super nice to see you guys. So I'm going to give you an example of one of the emails that I get. Now, I won't tell you who it's by, obviously, and maybe you're watching me live, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to read out this email, and this is an example of one out of maybe 10,000 emails I've gotten on the same theme, okay? So I'm going to read out the email to you, and I'm going to talk about that, okay? So here the email says, I am desperately wanting love from my partner with whom I'm in a relationship, but he is constantly ignoring me. Or sometimes he says he's really busy and really love me, but I can't feel the love. I desperately want love and attention from him. Even I tried that, it doesn't go away. Is it my pain body or is it about him? So I told her I'm going to make a video about it, and I'm going to make a video about it now. It's high time. Guys, I'm sorry if it becomes a long video, but this is the only time I'm going to talk about it. So I'm going to take my time in talking about it. See, the issue that I have, the reason why I don't help people who come to me asking me to help them attract their ex back or attract someone who's not naturally trying to be with them, who's not naturally trying to be the best boyfriend or girlfriend for them. The reason I don't do this is two things, okay? The first thing is, what you guys think is love is not love. That is the issue. We live in a world today that is masquerading the word, is using the word love and relationships in replacement for what it actually is, which is addiction and attachment. Addiction and attachment is your path to hell. Okay, it is. When I say hell, I don't mean like from a religious perspective. Addiction to something, if you've ever been addicted to something, it's too much of something, the lack of that thing begins to cause you suffering, right? So if you're addicted to relationships, you're addicted to feeling a certain way with somebody, and if that person changes their behavior, and people change all the time, right? They're not going to be super, the same that they were in the beginning of your relationship. They're not going to always have the same behavior patterns, right? So when that shifts, you, because of your addiction, you're not getting what you wanted, you end up going into a state of suffering. Now, that is still better than what most people are in, and that is they are addicted to the drama that comes in an unconscious relationship. So let's look at what is an unconscious relationship. Okay, an unconscious relationship is pretty much 99.99% of the world's relationships currently. They're all, and I'm going to say it straight. Okay, I know I might lose followers, and it's okay. But even if I help one person with my video today, I'm happy. Okay, an unconscious relationship is what most of you guys are in. What is an unconscious relationship? It is a relationship where two unconscious people are coming together in a union of unconsciousness. Unconsciousness is where they are broken as people. They within themselves, they are incomplete. They don't love themselves, they don't respect themselves, they don't fulfill themselves, they're not strong enough within themselves. So they expect the other person to give that to them. They expect the other person to complete them. And then the other person is also broken. Even that person does not have enough self-love, self-respect, consciousness to become the best versions of themselves. So they are also trying to get the other person to complete them. What happens when two unconscious people who have not done their own healing, who have not healed their own traumas, who are not taking responsibility for their own inner nonsense, when two of those guys come together, you know what happens in the relationship? It's a mess, it's drama, it's dramatic, and people love that addictive state of constant fighting, constant negativity, and they think that's normal. And that's where I take an issue. That's not normal. There's nothing normal about that. Now we live in a society, like let's say we are in Indian society, and Indian society, let's say your husband is beating you up, which is very common, by the way, not just in Indian society, in so many societies. Your husband is beating you up, and you call up your mom and you say, hey, my husband's beating me, I don't know what to do. And your mom would say, oh, that's just normal part of relationships. You're just supposed to stick it out, be a woman. That's what a woman is. This is not normal. This is not normal. I have to tell you the way it is. Your desperation to get back someone who treats you like crap is a reflection of the fact that you treat yourself like crap. You are somebody if you are so self-abusive, obviously you find it addictive to be in an abusive relationship. I'm telling you, this is going to, a lot of you are going to hate me right now. I'm telling you, a lot of you think that when you're in an abusive relationship, you are the victim in this. You don't realize that your reality is a reflection of you. So all these people who are so desperate for the love of somebody who doesn't love them and doesn't treat them like a god or a goddess, these guys are people who think it's normal to ask or to beg for love. It's not normal to beg for love. If you're in a relationship where you have to beg for love, that is not normal. That is an unconscious relationship. So we spoke about unconscious relationship. What is a conscious relationship? Now this, only a few people in the world actually know what this is and know how to be in one, know how to attract one. So let me talk about a conscious relationship. Okay, now conscious relationships are not something that is they're not something that is like a myth. Okay, it's not some fairy tale where there are people who love and respect each other, who treat each other with kindness, who help each other grow, who take responsibility for their own ego and their own pain body and not throw it on the other person. It's not a myth. It's very much a reality. Okay, the issue is nobody is coming on here and telling you the truth that you can choose better relationships, and the only way for you to choose better relationships with someone else is for you to have a better relationship with you. Most people have such a crappy relationship with themselves that they think that when they get into a relationship that the other person somehow completes them. It's utter lies. Nobody can complete you. You can complete yourself, and the other person can complete themselves, and they can share that completion with you. You share love. You don't suck it out from each other and expect that to work out. You understand? So when people are so desperate to attract their ex back, have you questioned why they're an ex in the first place? Okay, maybe you did a mistake and then they ran away. Okay, fine, you learn from the mistake, do better. Maybe you'll grow into something better, so you can attract someone who's on your vibration. But if you are trying so desperately to attract your ex back, and they are blocking you on Facebook, blocking you on WhatsApp, not treating you well, and your relationships are filled with fighting, and you think that is normal, you're deluding yourself. It's not normal. Are you really that, do you really lack so much of self-love and respect that you want to force someone who is trying to get the hell out of you to try to hell away from you? You're trying to force them to love you. Is that what love is? Is that what love is? Not audible. Okay. That's not love. If you really want to know what love is, let me tell you a little bit about that. Love and addiction are not the same things. They're not. Okay? There is there is a certain amount of beauty in a conscious relationship. That beauty is basically where two people who treat themselves well, who are on a journey of self realization, can complement each other to learn and grow. So that doesn't mean that there is no ups and downs in a conscious relationship. There is. The cool part about a conscious relationship is that two people will mirror to each other what you need to heal in yourself. Okay, what you need to heal in yourself. If you can see that, if even if you're in a relationship that is not conscious, if you can be a conscious person in the relationship, you'll heal your relationship. But if you are going to choose to be an unconscious person and blame the other one and say, you're the reason why I'm not happy, you're the reason why I feel like crap, then you are still living in the delusion. The illusion is that you think the other person is the one to complete you or the one to hurt you. The truth is, the only one who's hurting you is you. And you're constantly hurting yourself. You're constantly hurting yourself by thinking the other person is the villain. The only enemy is the enemy within. There is no enemy outside of you. No one. No, not a zero. No enemy outside of you. The only person is you. Now, a lot of people say, "Hey, listen, I'm financially stuck to my husband. So even if he beats me up and treats me like crap, that's okay because he helps me survive. Like I get money." But the issue with a lot of women in the Indian society or whatever society is that they actually believe that. They believe that the husband is a source of income, you're not allowed to work, and so they'll stick to the societal rules and they'll wonder, Arey, log kya kahenge, agar if what will people say if I decide to earn for myself? See, the issue is a lot of people have already made the mistake, and now it's a harder process to come out of that. I agree. I'm not telling you to get a divorce. I am telling you that when you have a choice and you're in a relationship, you're not married yet, you're in a relationship, or you're married but haven't had kids or whatever, you still have some room to improve and shift things around. You can. That is what I'm trying to say. There was back in the day, back in the day, when I first started my coaching practice many years ago, I had this client, and she basically worked with me for 1 year. For 1 year, and we were doing mindfulness, we were doing all these things to help her build herself into the best version of herself. And the whole point of doing that was because she was trying to get over this man that she was addicted to, who would treat her like crap. Right? See, if you treat yourself like crap, obviously you'll be addicted to people who treat you like crap, because the addiction is, I'm addicted to feeling like a victim. I'm addicted to feeling like I'm a piece of scum. I'm not good enough. I'm small. I'm insignificant. So you attract situations and relationships that make you feel that way. So I did my part, right? As a coach, I tried my best. But eventually, she got a little better. But then her addiction came over again, and now she's married to the same man who used to kick her, beat her, kick her face, and she's married to him. And I was coaching her, and she's like 22 years old or something. Can you imagine the youth today are so blindsided by what they think is love that they would marry a person who would kick them, who would beat them, who would treat them like crap, and they would not do anything about it. And the reason I had to step up and talk about that is because I can never even imagine any man treating me less than how I treat myself. If you treat yourself as a goddess, which you should, or a god if you're a man, right? You treat yourself well, you grow, you learn, you take responsibility, and you're complete unto yourself, which means you don't need anybody to complete you because you are complete, you're not missing anything, right? If you can, if and that's how I am, right? I cannot even imagine someone mistreating me. If someone even ignored me or did something that I felt was not how I would treat them and how I would treat myself, that is a red flag. And if you have enough red flags, okay, 2, 3, 4 red flags, that is your cue that this is not the kind of relationship you should be in. But a lot of people are fighting, doing law of attraction, doing all these things to attract the very demons that are holding them stuck. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? Right? They're trying so hard to do 2 cup. You look at the 2 cup method comments. Every second person, I want to say every person, but I know there are others who have other things to attract, but every second person is trying to attract back somebody who treated them badly. I'm telling you, okay, I'm not saying every breakup is a bad thing. Okay, sometimes you can work things out and go back and expand through that and learn and grow, and that's beautiful. So I'm not against you attracting your ex back. I am against the fact that you're trying to attract love from someone who does not love you. Do you not love yourself enough? If you're so self-sabotaging that you need to beg someone to love you, doesn't that show you something? That your focus should not be on trying to attract love. Your focus should be on trying to find out why am I so desperate for someone to love me? Like, why? Right? It's psychologically shown that people who are born into abusive families attract abusive relationships because that's their conditioning around love. So they think that when there's violence in the relationship, that's normal. It's not normal. Your boyfriend or girlfriend should not be ignoring your text. Your boyfriend or girlfriend should not be trying to manipulate you. These are not normal things. I have to tell you it as it is. Your boyfriend or girlfriend trying to, if you guys are in a monogamous relationship, but your boyfriend or girlfriend is interested in other people and not telling you, that is not okay. All right. If you guys are in an open relationship, which I respect, I think it's cool if you guys are in an open relationship or you are part of a polygamous system, then it's fantastic. You should tell your partner when you are interested in other people if that is how you choose to live. But if you're in a monogamous relationship and you're not being honest with your partner, that is not normal. A lot of people really believe that it's totally normal. It's not. Okay. A relationship that is indifferent, again, if you're the way I see love, okay, love has nothing to do with how someone looks. That's not love. That's addiction. Okay. Yes, there is certain amount of attraction that is somewhere necessary in building and kindling something, but attraction fades away very quickly. Okay, your sex life will fade away very quickly at some point. Okay, unless you're one of those couples who are in their 70s who are still sexually active, that's fine. But what remains after all of that? What remains after that initial high and that chemical outburst? What after all that goes down? Anything goes up comes down, right? What is left? That which is left, okay, the fact that you can still love someone unconditionally and they can love you unconditionally without you putting your ego crap on them and they putting your ego crap on you, and being able to truly love someone regardless of what their height is. This is another thing I want to talk about. Men who are short, and so many women would just chuck off men who are short or shorter than them because they're thinking up here. Obviously, when you're 25 years old, you don't think into the soul of a person. You think more in terms of what is chemically more attractive to you. I get it. Okay, I get it. But understand that all your chemical addictions will eventually wear off. Okay, what is left? If you don't enjoy what is left, then that's not love. And a lot of people are in that state now. Why do you think? And that's another thing. People jump into marriages. People jump into things without really trying to get to know somebody at a soul level, right? I mean, we have this thing in the Indian society called the arranged marriages, which is still doing really well. I think there are more arranged marriages even today than there is in love marriages, even to this day. And I get it. There's a science to it. There's a principle to it, and there's a lot of positive things that come out of a love arranged marriage, and I get it because it gives you an opportunity to dive deeper and really get to know someone and fall in love, and there's an amazing spiritual perspective to that, and I agree with it. But what happens when if anybody has ever been seen how an arranged marriage works, in today's world you get to actually meet the person before you marry them, but you meet them for a brief period and it's like an advertisement. They will only advertise the best qualities to you, like a resume and probably lying through their nose, and you will advertise your best qualities, and then you'll get married because you're like, okay, I like this person, and for like 10 minutes you go for a walk, or maybe 1 month, 2 months you hang out. You can never find out how the person actually is, right? And then you'll marry and then you begin to live together, and then suddenly you see the demonic side to the person that you never knew. And I'm a coach. I have seen in my profession, I have seen in Indian women, or so many cases, Indian men, Indian women, so many cases where they were lied to before they got married and now they're stuck, right? I mean, I don't know why we're putting in so much of like, we put in so much energy trying to say that this is the right way of doing things when it's not, right? Somebody has to come up and shake the paradigm and say, hey, listen, living in a relationship where someone is treating you less than what is normal. Normal is not being ignored. Normal is not being manipulated, being spoken down to, being patronized, being hated on, being yelled at. That's not normal. It's not. The issue is 99% of the world is in a relationship like that. So if I come and tell you, hey, this is how it is, you're not going to like me, right? Because I'm telling you something that you don't want to see. So when you still have a choice, like that girl, right, who ended up marrying the very man that kicked her on her face, if you are like that, and I know a huge percentage are like that, when you have a choice, I just want to tell you, can you love yourself enough to work on yourself and release that self-abusive patterns and rise up to someone who's so amazingly complete and focused and happy and joyful in your life that you attract someone on the same frequency as you. But if you're vibrating in your own negative stuff and you're attracting more negative people, and now you're addicted to the negativity, and now you want to email coaches like me and ask me, how can I manifest him back into my life? I'm so desperate for his love. How is that even a thing? Like, I can't even imagine in any relationship a man treating me any less than what I deserve. I cannot even imagine. It's not even in my, like, how is that a thing? How can you ever, like, putting myself in a position like, can I ever be desperate for a man's love who's ignoring me? I'm a queen. I can't. A queen has her own kingdom. She doesn't need a king. You understand? A king is someone who complements her journey. The same with you. If you're a king and a queen, and if you're not, you build up to that. So you can attract someone on that same frequency. Now this brings me down to the thing of kids, right? I have kids. Okay, my husband's beating me up, but I have kids. I can't leave. Get it. Okay? I don't know what to say to you. I don't know. I'm not telling you what to do. But I know that if you are a child and your parents are in an abusive relationship, you are being damaged more than what your parents think you're being damaged. Your kids are being damaged like crazy. You don't know the amount of pain they take when they see you and your husband fighting. You don't know. And that pain makes them grow up into people who are not very well adjusted to relationships. They would either get too addicted to people, they'll fall in love very quickly, and they will play out the same drama with them. Or there'll be people who will completely disregard relationships and love and say, oh, well, this is nonsense. I'm going to go away and become a monk. You understand? You are damaging the future generations by damaging yourself. Because when you are so incomplete, when your husband and you copulate, and you have the egg and the sperm fertilize, there's information that is going through this place. That information is going, that egg and the sperm fertilization is your child. It's a single-celled organism that becomes a multi-celled organism, and that is your child. You're bringing a child into the world through trauma between you and your husband. And you think that's normal. It's not. You don't know how much of your own, you know how in the Bible it says the sins of the parents goes down to the kids. It's true. we inherit so much of the mental emotional patterns of our, it's information. Water carries memory. That liquid, that the fluids is in us, and we are basically walking talking crap magnets because of so much of trauma that was in our family history, right? And somebody has to stop that chain. And now that if you're in a relationship and you're not married, you have a choice. Should I get married to someone or beg someone or try to make the, and I had another client also, and I stopped doing courses. I mean, I stopped taking sessions with her because I was going in circles about the same thing, and she just completely addicted. Every time her boyfriend would come down to visit her, they would fight all the time. There's so much of ego, so much of wound, so much of constant unconsciousness, and yet she's so addicted to that. And my question is, why? Is there really nothing else that we can do in our lives for ourselves, for our future generations, for the world around us, that we have to be self-sabotaging and be addictive to pain patterns? I mean, I speak about mindfulness every time, right? And mindfulness is the way to break out of these pain patterns and addiction to the pain body. um, I talk about it, but very few people take action, and I know they're not ready for that. But I have to say it as it is. If you're going to email me in the future and say, I want to attract my ex back, I'm so desperate for her love, I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't live without this person. Hey, guess what you're actually doing? You're in addiction. You are not in love, you're in addiction. If you can't eat or sleep or do something without another person, and that person is someone who did not treat you like you were supposed to be treated, then all you're doing is you are self-sabotaging yourself. And I'm not going to be the coach to tell you, hey, okay, do this law of attraction technique. I cannot in good conscience do that, because I know all I'm teaching you guys to do is go back to the very prison that is keeping you imprisoned in a low self-esteem state. Okay? I know that what I'm saying is going to hurt a lot of people, but at least in that, maybe somebody somewhere in this world might feel like maybe there's a way out. And I'm telling you, as a woman, as an Indian woman, okay, yes, I break a lot of rules of Indian society, because I believe that we're not women, men, Indian, African, we're none of that. Those are just conditions. We're not all that. We're a dynamic human spirit. The dynamic human spirit has no bounds. I mean, I can be as financially independent as I want. I can be as self loving as I want. I can be with the most incredible human being to supplement myself as I want, because I choose. If I say I am a woman, Indian woman, and I put conditions on me, then I limit myself, right? At some point, I have to choose my life, my one life, over log kya kahenge, what will people think, right? At the end of the day, life is precious and life is a miracle. And if I keep sitting and if people keep thinking of what will other people say, oh, I'm 35 and I have not got married yet, none of that is real. Drop all of that. Just live a good, healthy, happy life. Relationships are complements to your experience. They're not the end all and be all of your life. I mean, some people really think they're so desperate for love and so desperate for relationships that they're coming from a place of incompletion. They're desperate, someone love me, please. That's a larger call of help, that you need to love yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? Have I been loved like a queen? Hell yes! I have been treated like I treat myself. I cannot even imagine being treated any less than that. Nobody, at least in any conscious relationship, has ever ignored my messages, has ever been away without telling me where they were, what they were doing. They have never ever put me down. They have never belittled me, never seen me as something below them. They've always seen me as an equal. They've always treated me with so much of love, connection, because they're good people. And you attract good people when you yourself can treat yourself like you're a good person. I can never even imagine me begging someone who didn't treat me well to love me. How could, I mean, it's just attachment. It's just fear of losing something. If you can drop all that and live mindfully, then you will be able to attract. I had a client who was ready for divorce, and because she was with a man who would physically abuse her, and we did a lot of this work. She became so clear from inside. She was so calm, so relaxed. Her kids were imbibing the mindful way of life, so the kids were not being affected. And she got divorced, and she got a green card, and now she's financially free and she's happy. And I'm not telling you to get a divorce, okay? Because Synchro Shakti, not telling you to get divorced. I'm just telling you, your job is to work on yourself and release your own addictive patterns to pain, so that at least whoever you're with will not reflect negativity, so you can be a conscious person in your relationship. And if you have a choice to move on and find greater, like if you've broken up, breakups is God's way of telling you, hey, it's time to rise above yourself, okay? If you have broken up recently, now is your opportunity to love yourself and be complete, so that you don't have to run behind people to love you. They'll come automatically in your journey. You focus on your projects, you focus on serving humanity, you focus on being the best version of yourself, right? You focus on that. Relationships are not like some, it's not oxygen, man. They'll come if they have to. You first, the only relationship you should be concerned with is your relationship with yourself. That's it. That's it. So have I been treated that way? I have been treated that way. That's why I told you it's not a myth. Okay? Love is not what someone looks like. I was telling you, if you're a man who is short and you're scared that women won't love you, those women are not looking for love. They're looking for addiction. Okay? Love has nothing to do with someone's physical appearance, their age, whether they were divorced or not divorced, whether you're divorced or not divorced, what you look like. Oh, I need to look more beautiful for my husband to love me. Blah. Really? What kind of man are you with if you need to prove you have to do something extra for him to love you? That's not love. If true love is where you love each other, doesn't matter whether you have makeup on, whether you dress well, don't dress well, whether you're tall, short, fat, stout, none of that matters. If your husband doesn't find you attractive, that is literally not love. Your man and you should be treating each other like gods, not like crap machines. I can never ever disrespect a man in my life. I can never disrespect him, because I will not take him disrespecting me, and I can't disrespect him because I won't disrespect myself. Look within. Ev- I mean, women are being with men who are women are being with men who are treating them, or men are being with women who are treating them less than what they deserve, and they're addicted to that. I want you to break that addiction cycle and ask yourself bigger questions. So I'm going to end with that. If anyone in the future writes to me saying I'm so desperate to attract my ex back, I'm going to give them this video. Stop self-sabotaging yourself. Rise into the best version of yourself, so you may be a vibrational match to someone who's the best version of themselves, so two complete people can come together. And I'm telling you, you don't need people, you need your own sense of stability. Then people will complement that. Okay, you don't have to compromise who you are just to force someone to love you. None of that. Drop it. It's not worth it. Life is about joy. You don't want to be on your deathbed looking back and seeing all I did was I chased a man for so many years of my life and I forced him to love me, and or he beat me up, and I just told myself this is how it's supposed to be. You've got one chance in life. Choose wisely. Okay? Choose wisely. Uh, you might be experiencing this issue in your life or whatsoever. Great listening to you. Bye for now. I have no issues with love, with relationships. I have always seen the best of it. I have never been treated like crap, because I would never sit for something like that, ever. Even if I was married, I would never sit with something like that. Okay, so because love, you attract your tribe. If you are somebody who is just totally broken, then you will attract broken people, and then you'll have a broken relationship. Okay? You don't have to go finding love. Love will find you. You find love within yourself. That's it. Okay? There's no such thing as, and I treat them the same way. I treat them with love and respect. There's no such thing as I'm too old, I'm 35, I haven't got married, I don't have a kid, that makes me so sad. None of that is real. Put it all in the dustbin. Really, the people in America who are like in their 60s and they're getting married then, 70s, right? There's nothing like that. Okay, there's no, okay, biological clock, this and that, you can adopt, there's a lot of options. You don't have to get into the self-loathing state because of your age or because of the color of your skin. Like, none of that is real. Love has nothing to do with your age, the color of your skin, whether your nose is big, small, your height. None of that is love. That's all just total bleh. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I want you guys to kind of just take this information and see, do I really want to be addicted to an unconscious relationship, or can I allow myself to come up in being in a conscious relationship and attract someone who's also like that, right? I'm very passionate about this. I'm not being, okay, maybe I'm being aggressive, but that's because I want to really, really shake somebody up, some people up, and I don't want emails like this, okay? um, if I, in my past, if I was running behind people and be like, oh, please love me, da, da, da,